On today's Profit by Design podcast, we are thrilled to have my friend Donna Leyens. Donna is the president and co-founder of Pumpkin Plan Your Biz. She is on a mission to save small businesses from extinction by providing business tools, strategy, training, and support to business professionals who want to make a big impact by becoming small business growth strategists. And this mighty team of strategists uses the Pumpkin Plan Action Guide, a business growth program that Donna developed based on the methods in the book, The Pumpkin Plan, written by her co-founder, Mike Michalowicz. Pumpkin Plan strategists help small businesses to not just stay afloat, but to scale and grow in profitability and size while allowing the owner to have time for life as well. And today we will share how to reach your ideal clients by using the Pumpkin Plan. And Donna, I am just so thrilled to have you here today. You are just such an amazing human and dear friend to Dr. Sabrina and myself. And I was sharing with you just before we hopped on, I love being a Pumpkin Plan strategist. It's my jam, and I just totally geek out over creating and implementing systems and strategies for our clients. And the Pumpkin Plan really does create the foundation of the business for sustainability. And I did share this with you as well before we started recording. And I wish, we both said, I wish this was recording, because truthfully, the Pumpkin Plan systems and strategies and tools that we have in place is what sustained Tap the Potential on Dr. Sabrina's recent 6-week vacation. So we may just get into that a little bit deeper on the call today, but I just want to drive home to our listeners how important the Pumpkin Plan is, and it is a part of our Tap the Potential solution. And at the very core of that is interviewing your clients to really know what matters most to them, because it just removes the guesswork. And you stop throwing spaghetti at the wall and determine what your clients really want. And it allows you to stay within your niche. And you also just save thousands of dollars on marketing, because you're attracting the right people in the right place at the right time with the right offering. So yesterday morning, I hopped into my email inbox and I saw an email that you sent out, Donna, and there was a blog post called How to Reach Your Ideal Clients. And I just got so excited. I immediately reached out to you about coming on the podcast, and you said yes. And here we are today. And I just thank you so much for being here and taking the time to share with us about how to reach your ideal clients.
Well, thank you so much for asking me to be here, Melissa. I totally appreciate that. I can talk about the Pumpkin Plan and small business growth all day long. You may have experienced some long conversations with me in the past. So I'm always happy to come share about something that I am incredibly passionate about, and I know you are too. So I'm really happy to talk about this piece of the Pumpkin Plan, which is really key for a lot of business owners. One of the things we were talking about right before you turned on the recording was how so many business coaches or consultants or marketing companies that you might hire will ask you the question, you meaning the business owner, okay, so who's your ideal client? And you're supposed to just come up with your answer. And a lot of times what you think is the answer is not necessarily the case. And we actually have tools that help you figure this out, because you shouldn't be guessing. It's too important.
That is so true. And so many times I have coached our clients who are just on this constant hamster wheel, and they're looking for solutions to bring revenue through the door immediately. And they're throwing offers out that's not necessarily in a sweet spot. And they're also picking away at marketing, and they're posting on various platforms with not the right marketing message. But they're truly throwing spaghetti at the wall and just seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And
And, oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say there's a lot of information out there that encourages that kind of like random tactics where, oh, just do what everybody else is doing instead of being really deliberate and thoughtful about where you show up and what your message is. And I actually saw a conversation online in like a entrepreneurs forum, and someone had asked a question about social media, and this one woman said, I'm very frustrated with social media. It doesn't work for me. And all these people jumped in. Nobody asked her any questions, right? That's all she said. Nobody asked her any questions. Everybody just started giving her advice. And I said, before you can answer the question of where where you find your clients and what time to post or what to post, you really need to know who they are. And so that would be my first question. Who specifically are you trying to reach? And are they on the social media sites that you are posting on? And people push back on me. They said, oh, everybody's on social media. Maybe, maybe not. That may not be the best place to show up. It might be. But the hard thing for a small business is a lot of small businesses have very small budgets. They don't have big corporate budgets where they can do massive, market research and be everywhere. You have to, like I said, be really deliberate and really focused on where you show up and what you say. And the best way to do that is to talk to your best clients, actually speak to them. And if you can, like what I'm talking about is really have an actual conversation with them, not send out a survey and ask people to fill it out. Because if you just ask people to fill out a survey, you don't know which of your clients are going to fill it out, and you can't hear the tone of their voice. You can't ask follow-up questions. It's a lot less effective than actually having conversations with your clients, and not the conversations that you have when you're doing business with them, but a separate conversation.
I love this, Donna, and I really want to get into the interview. But first, let's talk about your ideal client.
Yeah.
How do you even know who you should be reaching out to? How do you know who your ideal client actually is?
Yeah, and this is key. You don't want to reach out to everybody because you may have clients that you don't want to attract more people like them. So their feedback is not what you want to respond to. You want to respond to feedback from your best clients. So how do you know who your ideal client is? Assuming that you are a business that already has clients, you're not a startup, the best place to look is your current client list. And we actually have a tool, which you, I am sure, are very familiar with, Melissa, called the Top Client Assessment. And you actually list all of your clients and you rank them. We have certain criteria that you rank them by. We start with revenue. Who pays you the most money? Like who's been with you the longest and paid you the most? But that's not the only thing that makes somebody a good client, because you can have a high paying client that is not actually a good client for you or a good customer for you. So there are other things that you want to look at, like how much of your time do they take up? And when I say time, I don't mean billable time. I mean time outside of what would be normal for you to deliver your services or to deliver your product. So that might be somebody who constantly has customer service issues. They would get a lower ranking than somebody who's always happy with what you do, right? If you have the kind of business where you work one-on-one with people or you have a personal relationship with your clients, do you get a big smile on your face when you see their caller ID come up or you see them on your calendar? Or do you want to run away screaming, right? This is definitely, we call that cringe factor.
Mhm.
How much do you love them or hate them? And again, it's not the only thing, but it really makes a difference because we know that working with clients and customers who zap your energy and zap the energy of your employees, what happens? That takes away from the energy that you have left to serve your better clients and your better customers. And so that impacts what you're doing for them, the people that you really want to keep as your client. So we definitely want to be aware of who are good clients for us and who are not. Some other factors, and some of these depend on the kind of business you have, but are they repeat customers? Do they refer other clients to you, or do they write you great reviews? And the other thing that's really important is, are their values aligned with your values?
Mm.
We call them, in the pumpkin plan, we call it immutable laws.
Mhm.
But if they have values, or if they have behaviors that go against your core values and your company's core values, then these, again, these are not going to be good clients for you, because they will make your business more difficult. They'll make it harder for you to do your best work with them. Um, and it also drains the energy of your employees as well. So there are all sorts of reasons why knowing your values and making sure that they align with your clients and customers is really important. And I'll just give you a really easy example,
Mhm.
which is, let's say you are a tax accountant and one of your core values is, we are honest, right? We are
Mhm.
honest. We don't cheat. And you have a client who wants you to help them cheat on their taxes. That would be somebody whose values are not aligned with yours. So you want to get a really good definition of the type of person or the type of company that you want to work with. And also, it can be helpful to know what they have in common so you can create a niche.
Mm.
And once you create a niche, you know where to find others like them.
Yes. So I love everything that you're sharing, and the cringe test is so important. And one thing that we teach in our jumpstart is how to identify those PETA clients, the pain in the assets clients.
Yeah.
And even though you may have clients who are bringing in a lot of revenue into your company, they could actually really be costing you money. So
Absolutely, they can be costing you money.
yeah, and draining your mental energy, and even sometimes your physical energy, and taking away from your family time. It's so important to identify these clients who really are your ideal clients and eliminating the non-ideal clients, and then you can begin to build your avatar around your most ideal clients, and these clients that you just show up for and you're excited. We're so fortunate at Tap the Potential, because I feel like every single day as I look at my calendar, I just get so excited and I just light up and say, oh my goodness, I get to meet with this client or that client today. And it's so freeing to be able to show up at work and just know I'm going to love my day, because I'm in my niche and I'm working with my ideal clients, and it's never a drain. And that is because of the pumpkin plan and us continuously interviewing our clients and making sure we're holding to our immutable laws. And one thing that's such an important part of this, after you have identified your ideal clients, is that interview process. So, Donna, can you share with us what this interview process looks like?
Sure. So we call it the wish list interview. And it's the first thing we want to do is make sure that you have a mindset that you're not asking your clients to do you a favor.
Mm.
Um, so you don't have to offer them, entry into a contest to win an iPad or something to do this. These are your best clients. They should want to talk to you. And what you are telling them is you want to serve them better, which is true. Like that's really part of the point of this, that it's not just about how do you attract more clients, but how do you deliver to your best clients a product or service that they really love and that meets their needs, so that they do stay customers or clients and they do refer other people and they become raving fans. So it's not just about getting the sale, it's about creating that long-term relationship. Because we all know that it's so much easier and less expensive to make your current clients happy and even sell more to them based on what they need. Like, oh, let's do a next level of service and a next level, versus having to constantly get new clients. So it makes a lot of sense to, if you focus on how do I serve my best clients really, really well, then everything is going to flow from that.
Yeah. And if you're a business owner out there who is drowning in a sea of clients and struggling with your revenue, and you're just not sure how to fit more things in, or maybe you're that business owner that the business is solely relying on you, think about this. What if you could look at your client list and cut off 80% of them?
Yeah.
And focus on 20% of your best clients who light you up, bring you energy, and bring you revenue. And you were just able to really create some areas of innovation around your offering and bring them in at a higher revenue rate, making them happy. And you're really making your team happy, because then they're not working with the PETA clients, and just be able to focus on where you shine and where your clients shine. And the only way to do that is by interviewing your clients and really knowing what matters most to them.
Yes. Yeah. So the first step is to reach out to your best clients. So maybe pick your 10 best clients, your 10 favorite clients that you would love to replicate. Like if you could just work with those 10 clients all day long, or 5, or however your business is structured, whatever number makes sense, and reach out and say, I'm doing some meetings, some interviews, because I would like to get your feedback. I really value your feedback on how I can serve you better. And most of the time, your clients will be happy. If they love you as much as you love them, they will be happy to talk to you. And I do want to say something, and I've said this in the past. I think Sabrina and I years ago had a conversation about this. Some business owners might feel some resistance in asking their clients to meet with them on this, on this level, right? Like they're happy to call their clients and say, let's meet about your, the work we're doing for you. But asking them to do an interview like this can be stressful, because it's not just about like, oh, are they going to want to talk to me? But you might be nervous about what they're going to say. And what I want to reassure everybody is the way that this particular interview is designed, it is designed so that you don't, unless you're talking to a really mean person, and I doubt that you would be if they're supposedly your best clients, it is designed to get positive feedback.
Yes.
And you might be thinking like, oh, well, what's the good of positive feedback? Aren't I supposed to ask like, what can I be doing better? No. We don't want you to ask that. We have a list of questions, and what we're looking to figure out is, one, what are you doing right? So you're going to ask them that. And the reason why we ask that question is because that will start to give you a clue about what it is that your best clients see as unique about you. What is it that attracts them to you and keeps them with you? What's important to them? And then what you'll be doing is comparing answers and looking for common themes. If all of your clients are saying the same thing, that's important. You want to know that. You want to know, like, okay, and you might think like, oh, I know what they're going to say. I will tell you that usually you do not know what they're going to say. What you think your clients notice about you or care about very often, or what we think makes us unique, very often is not how our clients see us. And this is the best way for us to be able to see how the outside world sees us and what they value about us. So that's the first part. The other part is, instead of saying, what can I do better? Or what am I not doing well? Ask about your industry. So we're business coaches. Ask, what do you wish, what drives you crazy about the business coaching industry? What drives you crazy about business coaches? So they can answer without feeling awkward that they might be insulting you. Because if you said, well, what drives you crazy about working with me? They don't want to tell you that. Most people won't tell you that. But what we found, so early on, many years ago, when we first started doing these interviews and our strategists started doing them, we thought that what this was going to tell us were maybe you recognize like, oh, what they're saying is something I do. So I do drive them crazy about this, or they don't like this. Or there's going to be a gap in the industry. They're going to say something that you now know, oh, I could fill this gap. Like nobody knows this, but now I know that this is a problem that I can solve. But the thing that happens very often is that what they say is, this drives me nuts about the industry. I don't like this about your industry, but that's why I like you, because you are different. Have you experienced that, Melissa, at all?
Always. And business owners have this magic inside their business. And oftentimes to them, that's just how they show up in life. And they have this expectation everyone else is going to show up that way. And every business is operating this way. But when you conduct the interview, you realize how important of a differentiator this really is. And most of the time we're humble and we're not tooting our own horns. As a matter of fact, we're not even looking at where we're winning in our business. We're looking at where we aren't. So the wish list interview is just a culmination of magic. So you're learning what's unique about you. You're realizing it. You're learning what your clients are, what really matters most to them. And then you're connecting all of these dots together, and it opens up innovation, but it also opens up an opportunity to save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in your marketing. Because then with your wish list interviews, you can create a strategic marketing plan where you're not wasting time and money. And like you shared earlier, Donna, when you hire a marketing person to come on your team, a lot of times they just want to know, well, I need you to go post on this platform or that platform. But when you give them the information from the wish list interviews, they then know where your top clients are hanging out on social media, for example, if they are even hanging out on social media. So at this point in my journey as a pumpkin plan strategist, I will not even create a marketing plan for our clients without having those wish list interviews. And it's something that also, even though I've shared the importance of it, and you can hear how passionate I am, I still have a hard time getting our clients to commit to doing it. So I'm wondering if you have any advice, or tell us what it really looks like realistically. How long does it take to actually conduct this interview? And by the way, you don't have to figure this out for yourself. A pumpkin plan strategist can come in and support you and just give you all the tools that you need, as well as the questions. So, yeah. Donna, what does this really look like?
And then help you interpret the answers as well. That's super
Correct.
valuable. Okay, so I do want to say something that I have discovered, because there are certain points in the program where we typically encounter resistance from the business owner. This is one of them. And what I have found is that the tools and the activities that encounter the most resistance are the ones that are going to make the biggest impact on your business.
Wow.
So there is a little bit of fear and mental block, I think, that people have, because these methods are so impactful. They're going to change your business in some way, and change is scary, even good change. And I think that recognizing that helps remove a little bit of that fear and resistance, because instead of resisting it, you can get excited about what you're going to learn. And a lot of times the feedback that I've gotten is, I was really scared to do the first interview. And then once I started doing it, it was amazing and I couldn't wait to do more. So it's really sometimes just getting people to do that first one and getting over that fear of what are they going to say to me? Am I going to be able to conduct this interview and get the information I need? All of that starts to go away once you start actually talking to your clients and realizing, like, this is an amazing conversation and you're learning things that you start to get excited about and think, oh my gosh, I never even thought of this way. And this is important to my best clients. And it can actually be super invigorating and exciting. We just have to get over that hump of, doing the first one. And the other thing that I've learned over and over and over again is not to make assumptions. Because like sometimes I'll be like, oh, this person won't want to do this, or this person might feel this way or that way. And then when I actually speak to them, what they have to say is totally different than my assumption. So don't make assumptions about how your clients are going to react when you ask them to do the wish list interview. And don't make assumptions about what they're going to say. If we can go in with a learner's mindset, meaning I am open to feedback, I am open to, if I ask them to meet with me and they say no, that's okay. Right? Not to be afraid of that rejection, even, because some will say yes. Some might say, I'm sorry, I don't have time, or, this is not something I can do right now. But others will be eager to speak with you. And I once worked with somebody who's a coach, and he does a lot of group work. And when I talked to him about doing the wish list interviews, he was so excited because he said, my clients are going to be so excited to speak with me one-on-one. And he did crazy long wish list interviews. Like they were like 2 hours or something, like, because he was so into talking to his clients and they were so into talking to him. You don't have to do a 2-hour interview. I think that was partially his personality, that he just was like thrived on that kind of interaction. You could probably do a short half-hour interview if that's all your clients have. Personally, I think a lot of it is because I also am really a talker and I like to draw people out. I don't know that I could personally do one in less than an hour, unless I was speaking with somebody who was just really pithy and doesn't give long explanations. But somewhere between a half hour and an hour, I think, is a good amount of time, and you get through what you can. And sometimes you won't get to ask all of the questions, but the questions that get answered are going to give you pure gold. And I will say that Sabrina has been a pumpkin plan strategist since the beginning, and that was 2013, so more than 10 years. And I remember the first time she went out and did wish list interviews, she came back to us and was so excited about what she had learned. And it put her business on it did make an impact. It put her business on a trajectory that she wouldn't be where she is today if she
Yes.
had not done those first wish list interviews. So I know she's a true believer, and that's why, you all are true believers at Tap the Potential, because we want all of the strategists that work with us. So if you're a coach or consultant and you want to be part of our program and use this with your clients, the first thing we have you do is apply the program to your own business so you can walk the talk. So whoever's listening, whether you're any kind of business or you're a coach or consultant, give it a try. I have in the blog post that you referred to, I do list 4 questions that you can ask. And then if you want somebody to help you to figure out, how do I approach my clients? What's the best way to prepare for these interviews? And how do I interpret the answers and then apply that to reaching my best clients with the right message? Work with a pumpkin plan strategist at Tap the Potential. A lot of our strategists work with businesses in specific industries. So there's a right fit pumpkin plan strategist. I would say for pretty much anyone, I would hope, but for most businesses, I would say there's a right fit pumpkin plan strategist. And the thing about our methods, and I'd like to know if you agree, Melissa, is that we're not saying everybody follow step 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're all doing the same thing. This is a program that uses a process to help you define the strategy that works for your specific business.
Yes, I completely agree. And having a pumpkin plan strategist helps build the foundation of your business. And we take the guesswork out of it because we already have the steps to take. And we at Tap the Potential, we have a very personalized program where we actually walk you through all of the things that you're sharing, Donna, in the pumpkin program. But we're taking a more customized personal approach to it. And we're saying, for example, as I'm working with our clients, that many of them don't even have project management tools established for their business. And I take a step back and I really evaluate, well, which project management tool makes sense for them. So we're working down to the nitty gritty, and I highly recommend Pumpkin Plan for any business. And having that Pumpkin Plan strategist just takes the guesswork out of it. And the interviews are near and dear to my heart. And remember, as you reach out to your clients to interview them, these are your top clients. They are going to want to talk with you, and they are going to feel proud that you respect their opinion enough to interview them and spend time on ways to serve them better. So I just want to drive that home. And Donna, I can't thank you enough for coming on today and sharing. And I hope you're going to continue to join us in the future and have more conversations about pumpkin planning.
Anytime, Melissa. You just give me a call and I'll come on.
That sounds great. So I have one last question I want to close us out with. And that is, we're all about work supports life at Tap the Potential. And I would love it if you would just share one gold nugget with our listeners on how you ensure that work supports your life.
Oh, wow. Just one golden nugget.
Well, you can share more if you would like.
You know what? It's really, for me personally, it's around having the freedom to design my workday around what works for me. So, for example, I think most of us have we might have different biorhythms, right? So maybe you're a morning person, or maybe you're a night owl, or maybe, you do your best work at 4 a.m. when nobody's awake yet. And so for me, just being able to say, okay, I'm going to schedule my meetings when I know I have the best energy for meetings. And I'm not going to, unless I really need to for some specific reason, I'm going to create a schedule that enables me to have time for self-care.
Mm.
Take I will say, when I first started working with Mike Michalowicz, and we would share our calendars with each other, and this was before he had a personal assistant, and he literally, his looking at his calendar would stress me out, because he literally would have back to back to back to back meetings all day long, not even a break for the bathroom, no lunch break. So now, his assistant, they make sure he's got a lunch break, and he's got, a few minutes in between meetings. But I know, personally, that part of being a business owner is designing a business where you can say, okay, this is the schedule that works for me. And you know what? Sometimes I work on weekends, but it's because I'm able to time block and say, on Monday, I'm going to take time to do this thing for myself personally. And then the work that I was planning on getting done on Monday, I'll get done on Saturday, or, that type of thing. So for me, that's about work supports life. And I'm doing work like what you said earlier about kind of working with clients that you love and looking forward to the day when, a million years ago, when I used to have a job that I had to work for somebody else and show up at the time that they said show up at, I used to dread Monday mornings. I looked forward to Fridays, and Sunday night, the dread would start to set in. And it wasn't even just about the work itself. It was about this idea oh my gosh, I have to get up super early, and I'm going to be rushing around in the morning, and I have to make the train, and all of this pressure. And so now I've got a business where I just walk down the hall. I like working from home. I know that's not for everybody, but and I'm able to say, I don't schedule anything early on Monday mornings, and it takes all the pressure off of Sunday evening. I don't dread Mondays anymore, because I know I can ease into my week and spend the first hour or two of my day organizing my day, and sort of doing things quietly myself before I dive into high, sort of higher level, higher energy activities. So a lot of it is just knowing yourself and what's possible. Not every bit. If you have a retail store that has certain hours and you have to be there, of course, you need to be there. Or if you have, but for me, I just gave you a very long answer to that question.
I love it. What you're sharing is work supports your life because it gives you flexibility for you to be at choice, more so when you're working and have those options. So I absolutely love this, and I appreciate you. I feel like I could just talk all day. So I look forward to having you on again soon.
That would be awesome.
All right. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Melissa.